Thank you.
I'm so sorry, it just kept going.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't slow down at all for you, so.
I was really hoping you'd make it right through.
Oh, well.
Sorry, Andrew. It's all right.
Oh. All right. Can I get a mic check?
Sound good, Patrick.
Thank you, thank you. Ooh, one thing I need to do.
I'll take the same.
Jump in Discord, just in case we get some
Gotcha, Adam, loud and clear.
people that want to drop in. Voice chat. Voice chat is available. Y'all let me know if the view's off just a little bit. I'll fix that. Alright, let's get some practicing.
Pit lane speed limit is 50 miles per hour.
Idiot. Can't get practice with wets on, dummy. How do you change these tires? Like, why can't you change the setup? Huh. Why is it not letting me? Edit setup. Apply. Come on. Alright. Let's get in here.
There's a car approaching. Stay behind the white line.
Let me back up a little bit, lift. Alright, let those guys go. We got full tires, so let's take it easy. In our out lap, lift a little bit. Let's touch some curb.
Almost lost on that turn, Robert. Well, it's a tricky one.
What's gonna be tricky is when this map goes into rain. A lot of people have been losing it there. Y'all let me know if I need to adjust the view. I can only see so much with the POV, so I'm not really sure in real time what it looks like for you guys. So I'm trying my best here.
You okay, Robert? All right.
Let's see.
That's all right.
incident in Casino Triangle. It looks like back.
Lay, idiot. Too far. I need to stop a lot earlier than that. Not good. Get together, brother.
Hey, it looks like there's no rain in the forecast. Am I misreading that?
It looks like there's gonna be rain like after 15 minutes is what I gathered. What up, Mike?
Yeah, I don't see it on the radar on the pop-out.
Yeah, you gotta let me know if that POV looks
I
decent.
think the time advances for qualifying and for the race start.
Oh, I gotcha.
If the POV's bad, let me know. I'll adjust it, but I'm just trying to put something together here live. It's hard, but I'm trying to keep it clear. I hope the rain stays away. That'd be nice. Although I haven't had much practice without it raining. What up, dog? Okay, as long as it looks good, as long as you can tell. I'm trying to put something together.
Okay, Patrick, there's a car exiting the pits. Heads up. Yellow flag. 10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes. E14.
Yeah. Get some practice. Add what app to the Discord?
There's an incident in First S's. We think it might be JM.
Oh shit. I don't know. I forgot if I'm supposed to be in third or fourth there. I fucking forgot already. What app you talking about? I'm gonna have to look at what you're talking about. I'm a little lost. It's a YouTube app that if we post a video to YouTube, it will automatically load them on Discord. Oh, okay. I gotta look into that. I don't know which one it is, but I'll get it. I didn't know it existed, to be honest. Sounds cool. But yeah, I'll get it. Sounds resourceful. Alright, so I gotta play it nice and safe the first couple laps, because they penalize you bad here.
P15. That puts you
See,
2.7 seconds off the pace. That last lap was a 2:03.54.
Like, I don't even know how I'm gonna survive. These guys are just way faster than me. It's crazy. That's alright. Took a screenshot and sent it. Okay, I'll add it. I saw you been posting well, I saw you got a video up. Didn't see if you got how many you had. I think you posted like a couple days ago. Let's see.
Hey Dave, your mic did not work back there if you were saying something.
Just a habit of double tapping.
Dave Jones made it out to the race today.
Cool, heard you there. I'm sorry if I scooped past you.
Let's see. Yeah, I posted a couple of them. There were last two videos.
P16, that's your quickest lap of this session.
What the fuck, bro? I'm still slower though. Yeah, bro, I can't keep up with these guys. Look how screwed I am. Unless they have like a quali set up. Better exit here. See if that helps a little bit. Alright, we're making up some time, so that exit's pretty important. Oh shit, I missed that apex. I'm getting a lot of glitching.
Alright, Patrick, you need to watch the track limits.
Shit. I'm sure you
5
guys
minutes remaining, 5 minutes
If I see the
left.
glitching, you guys see the glitching.
Andrew, just so you know, you're on wet.
He did that on purpose. My man's Andrew out here practicing with the wets. Oh shit. I did not mean to go into first. Let's get this fan going. It's so hot right here. Second gear is good. From what I can see.
Test.
I hear you.
Copy that. Take it.
That's how you find some time. Alright. So we need to just clean up our laps.
Radio check.
Damn.
Gotcha.
Went too wide there. Damn, bro.
Don't invalidate this lap, track limits. laps left, 2 minutes to go.
Damn, that's it. I'm not gonna be able to improve. This is bad. This is bad.
17th place.
Too wide again? Nope. It's forgiven there. All that time lost. I need to fix that turn. Yeah, that shit's horrible. I think it's one of the easier turns too.
Incident in Spoon Curve. It looks like it's Joe. Checkered flag, P17.
Yeah, that's bad, y'all. I need to figure that out. I'm having some glitching issues.
That's the end of the session, P17.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't feel too confident here. Alright, let's do this quali. Let's see if we can lower the fuel to try to do something with it. I don't really know how to do quali setups. Let's see. I don't know how many laps. How many gallons would I need? Alright, bro. Appreciate you lurking. Let's see. Where's that petrol? Fuel, fuel, fuel. Fuck, fine now. Gallons? I'm gonna go like I'm gonna go 6 gallons. I have no idea. I mean, that still sounds like a lot. Does it tell you how many laps? It doesn't tell you how many laps. That's dumb. I'm just gonna keep it. Go 5 gallons. And then we'll save it and see if that works. For now, already wasted some time, so let's get in here.
Okay, Patrick, we've
Are
got
you racing
3
supercars
laps to
tonight?
set a decent time.
Good luck with your practice, bro. Appreciate you lurking too. Alright, so we wasted 1 minute 45 seconds. Cold tires, let's see. I need to take it nice and slow coming out this ditch. crash out. I need to get a banker lap. Yeah, this bitch is freezing. I'm getting a lot of frame loss or something. I'm not even dual streaming. I'm just streaming to one source right now, so I don't know.
The leader's just done a 201 and 11.
Damn, that was bad. What an ugly fucking turn. So gross. I'm getting a lot of glitching. I don't know why. Let's try to get a couple more laps in. Let's make them count. I don't remember what my fuel is sitting at, so I'm gonna have to try to wing that. Alright, let's try. Let's try again.
15th place. You're currently 3.1 off the pace.
3.1 off the pace, huh? Too wide. Fuck me, man. You gotta be
Mind
kidding
these
me.
track limits, please, Patrick.
Again, track limits. Oh man, I'm gonna struggle. This is not my cup of tea here. Should have some time to get this last one in. I hope finish out this lap and try. Let's see. Come on, let's push. Alright, one more. Try to make this one count. We got just over 220 to do it.
20.
It's bad. Come on, bro. I need something here. I was supposed to be in fourth gear there. I just realized. I think I was supposed to be fourth there. It's okay. Let's just get something in. It's super slow right now. Damn. Glitch. Come on, let's make this lap count. There we go, 1.9, 1.2, 1.94, there we go. Found some time.
B16.
Oh, I only moved up 5 positions, bro. Fuck. So good. Jesus.
That's the end of the session. 16th place.
Alright. Let's go to chassis. What are we doing with fuel? We need to go all the way. What's the max? I forgot, like 17, 18? No, I think it was like 19.
Hello drivers, welcome to the warm-up drivers meeting for the 6th Series 15 race at Suzuka. Remember not to advance into empty spaces to fill the gaps for missing cars when forming up and pacing. Just maintain pace, car speed, and starting grid distances to the next car ahead. On the green flag, accelerate as much as the car ahead of you allows for, but wait until you reach the starting line before you step out of line to begin passing and racing. This track has separate start and finish lines. The finish line is the first you'll see when you get the green flag, so don't be fooled. The real starting line is a red stripe across the track way down the front straight, where the sign goes over the track with green lettering on a white background. Even after the initial green flag start, you may not step out of line to begin racing until you reach that, or you will be penalized with a 15-second stop and hold. Keep the field in grid formation down the straight until reaching the red starting line stripe at the white sign. P2 must take care to lead the left column from slightly behind the pole sitter because iRacing will black flag you if your nose crosses that line first and live race control will not clear. As always, enhanced penalties apply to the orange zone, which starts when you grid and ends for you when you begin your lap. Penalties given for violations that happen here are enhanced to a 15-second stop and hold, so take care driving through your first lap. From there on out, all penalties will be drive-through. Let race control know if you must start from the pits. You may proceed out of your pit box when instructed by iRacing. For overtakes, respect the vortex of danger and be prepared to back off and follow if you cannot reach the rear axle of the overtaken car with your front axle before turning. Remember, the hole you see ahead is closing rapidly. You may be in a blind spot, there will likely be contact, there could be an incident, and it will be your fault. Also, respect local caution. Avoid passing or recklessness near other incidents and pass by safely before you resume ordinary racing. When communicating with live race control, please use either at drivers or at all teams, as these are the only channels live race control can hear you on. Repeat your request if you do not get a response from us. Do not request iRacing black flag clears, and do not request reconsideration or explanations for live race control penalties. Outside of live race control requests, use the radios only for essential driver-to-driver, racing-related exchanges, and refrain from calling out other drivers. At the end of all this, wait until track is clear as announced by live race control before using voice comms.
Idiot.
This is because iRacing will report race is over when it is not finished. But we'll let you know when. Hey, good luck out there. We'll see you after the race.
Thank you. Thank you. Radio check.
Here you, Jim.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Someone talk to me? Talking I am. Did I hear my name early in the announcement? Not that I heard.
I think they said you were driving too fast. You have to slow down.
Particularly during the race, right?
Exactly.
Yep, that's what I heard.
No fifth gear for you.
Taking 5 years. Mine's an automatic. Only 4 for you. Gonna do a radio check?
Hey, Robert.
Didn't hear you, Jeff.
Yeah, I just can't see it at the board. Got it. But thank you.
Damn. Very nervous about today's race. Jeez. Whew. Alright. That's the part where we wish each other good luck and try not to kill each other. Hmm. 1 hour race. Oh, Dave's right in front of me. Dave Jones. Is it? Yep, Dave Jones. Right in front of me. Oh, Davey boy. Good luck, everybody. Good luck, gentlemen.
Yeah, let's have some
30
fun.
seconds.
Sounds like a plan.
Love the rain.
Let's try to keep it clean. We have the wet set up, so come time.
The track temp is 81 Fahrenheit. The air temp is 72. 16th place. 60 minutes.
Dave is in P14 right in front of me. I'm always behind Dave.
This is a rolling start. Stay behind Jones in the left column.
I don't even know how heavy the grid is.
Race car speed is 55 miles per hour.
I don't know. There's at least 20 positions because I fell back to 20. I see a few cars behind me in the rear view mirror, so we'll get that checked out here in a sec. Tired. Should have popped that Adderall. See me through this race. "313." That's Dave Jones. luck, brother. Stay nice and close. We can't cross until we get past the, I guess what is it, the second checker?
Stay calm. Focus. Green, green, green.
I have to wait. Like I can't even. Oh! What the fuck, man? What was that?
On your right. Still there. Hold your line.
Oh shit. Didn't see that guy on the
Right,
right.
you're in the middle. Clear all around.
I pushed my whole brake pad all the way down when I slam on the brakes like that. Or tried
Power
to.
left.
Oh, Lego.
Second S's. If you go.
Still there. Clear left, right side. Still there. Clear right.
Legos had a shit recon.
All right, Patrick. The next car is Jones, and their rating is
That's followed
1.1.
Left side. Clear on the
Too
left.
wide, bro. Probably hit that thing at third. I need to fix my brake pads. My brake pedals. They keep flipping up.
The guy in front is Alex. C license.
Mid one position.
B15.
Car left. Still there. Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear left.
Great move. Keep it up. The guy in front is B license. The gap to B15 behind is now 0.45. Incident in Spoon Curve. Looks like it's Marcos.
On your right. You are clear on the right.
Jesus, what happened there? P11 now.
The leader's just done a 202.13.
Well, I hope that was a penalty for somebody.
Hey James, your front right
Yellow.
tire is fully bent in.
On your left. Hold your line. Clear left.
Marcos is pitting from P23. We think he'll be close in front of you when he exits.
We're in P10, boys.
Giles is pitting from position 26. We think he'll come out close in front.
Oh shit. Idiot. I had to go into first to stop myself. That shit was bad. I just went out too deep. This guy could have been worse. Just can't be making mistakes like that. Simple little mistakes cost you. Alright. Just keep it together.
New fastest lap for done 201.75. The leader has just done a 201.85.
Whoa,
The gap
line,
behind
bro.
is now
You guys are
1.4 seconds.
killing me. Struggling.
P10.
201s.
Okay, Patrick, our refueling window will open after 19 minutes and closes at about 45 minutes.
Oof. Too much curb and too little curb here. Damn. I need to clean that up.
P11 is getting closer. The gap's now 0.7. Quicker than you entering Degna 2.
I wonder what his relative lap times are.
Fastest lap for Kraus,
Keep getting dropped frames.
201.38.
Alright, we found a second. Let's keep it that way. Let's try to get faster. We should clean this up, clean up the laps.
Make him do all the work. Focus on your exits.
Shit. Yeah, he's better than me in those turns.
across. He's pitting from position 26. We think he'll come out just behind you. Okay, Patrick, ignore that fucker in the mirror. Stick to your line. Nail those exits.
Shit. Lose time. Come on. Oof. Alright, we're catching up to some traffic. See what's gonna happen.
Alright. You're clear on the ride.
Ignore that fucker in the mirror. Stick to your line. Nail those exits.
That wasn't even that was Keith.
Okay, Patrick, you're reeling B9 in. The gap is 0.8.
Come on. So we got what? Harper Bath and John Kaplan. Let's go. Damn, bro, I'm getting so much frozen screen here. I know you guys will be able to see it, but if I see it, y'all see it. It's like stuttering or something. I don't know. Ah, fuck me. I knew I was coming in too hot for that bullshit. I left the door wide open for him to have a good run on me. All the way down the straight. So 1.1 and he's 0.3, Leon.
Okay, Patrick, don't let this guy distract you. He's faster than you into Degner 2.
Don't live in your mirrors, bro. Alright, so 1.2 is in front of me.
The gap to back in front is now 1.3.
Oh shit, something happened to Leon. So way back, I don't know what happened. I need to clean that turn up. That shit is bad. I need to figure that turn out. Yeah, I lost a lot of time there. Fuck.
The gap to back ahead is now 1.4 seconds. Sector 2 is 0.9 off the pace.
See, so dropping it into third cost me a lot of time on the relative right there. I noticed. So you don't want to drop it into third there. So now that I learned that little thing, I'm not gonna do that again.
10th position. The gap to P9 ahead is increasing. It's now 1.7.
I need to clean this up, but how? Damn. I'm losing time. I need to pick it up. Ooh. Lost a second there. Not good.
That was a 202.91. Sectors 1 and 3 are 0.36 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.7 off the pace. You're reeling back in. The gap's now 0.8.
Oh, fuck. I just said not to put it in fourth. Here I can drop it into third, just to get some torque. Use the power band to get out.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you.
Yeah, I just realized I was driving with wet tires.
She had wet tires on. Ah, here we go. You think we got time for one more lap? Coming down hard.
The gap to back ahead is increasing. It's now 1.2
We're 20 minutes in the
Thank you.
race. I'm gonna go one more lap with the rain. I think I can go 2 minutes with rain. This is a bad predicament to be in, but I think so. Yeah, the guys are staying out too.
Thanks, Jared.
Not sure. My problem.
Alright, Patrick, the next car is one lap behind.
Car right. Still there. Clear on the right.
Len is now on wets.
That's early for wets, huh? It's not even coming down like crazy like that. Damn, you're supposed to keep it in fourth all the way through, huh? Oh shit, here we go. Alright, we need to get on wets.
Pit window open.
Oh no!
There's a bit of drizzle starting.
Alright, we need to bring it in ASAP. This is not good.
That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel.
Yeah, fuck. We're screwed. We're stuck out in the middle of the track right now. Let's try to bring it in. Let's keep it safe. Stop very early. Oh shit, even that paint's already wet. Alright, we're just gonna slow down like crazy to avoid from crashing. We do not want to have to tow. Let's just get there, we're almost there. Let's just slow down a lot.
The gap in front is now 2.8. Giles is pitting from P23. We think he'll come out just behind you.
Alright, we made it back safely, so let's just bring it in. Just bring it in and change these tires.
Heads up, there's a car rejoining. The leader is now on wets. Look out for the pit speed limit. Pit lane speed limit is 50 miles per hour. We'll fuel you to the end of the race. Box in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now. Is now on wets. Front right 85%. Right rear 93.
Come on.
Okay, Patrick, we're getting proper rain now. Looks like it's getting harder. Block is now on wets. Your exit looks clear. Stay behind the line.
Everybody's on wets, huh? Alright, this is where the race changes. Alright, so we're in P8 right now. So take everything down a gear. That's going to be the best advice I can
Hillman is now on wets.
Alright, so we're in P8 after the pit stop. Let's see how long we can maintain this. Ole. Old tires, wet track. Let's see how we fare.
The next car is a lap behind. There's an incident in the hairpin. It looks like Carmichael.
Damn. It's kind of doing okay up until it wasn't, huh? We got up to P8 and the rains just took over. Well, who knows what's gonna happen. So I'm trying to stay off the racing line.
Incident in Spoon Curve. It looks like it's Andrew. Yellow flag.
Let's see.
Okay, Patrick. It's really raining now. Seems to be increasing. 2, 10th position. Behind is now 3.6.
A lot of times, they periodically just tanked. Just lap by lap, going slower and slower. 220. Oh, that's what they included pit stop. I don't see myself hunting anybody down in this weather. I'm just gonna try to race my clean race and hope for the best, huh? This guy's Leon is coming. I thought I had Leon on lock, and now he's just pushing that car through.
Our left.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Stay on the left.
Jesus. Leon's got pace in the water. I better watch out. He's coming. He's like a shark.
So
Smells
left
blood.
behind is now 0.5.
Oh, a lot of water. Hydroplane. As if my CPU isn't already freezing up. Alright, I'm gonna stay in the middle because I know it's the best driest spot right here. This is not going to be good.
Hold your nerve, just keep it smooth, no mistakes. He's faster than you, entering Degna 2.
On your left. You're clear on the left. Left side. Hold your line.
Oh!
Still there. Clear on the left.
Oh, fuck's sake, Patrick. Come on, mate, defend your position.
Thank you.
There's an incident in the hairpin. We think it might be Giles.
Damn it, man. Just lost my position like that. Fuck. Oh, Jonathan's 4.9 seconds behind me, so I need to keep an eye on him.
There's an incident in Degna 2. It looks like block. The car in front of us is now left, D-license, half distance, fuel looks good.
Jesus.
Done. Car number 241 is now in the lead. The gap to 8th place. Ahead is now 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, Leon, everybody else is fast. I can't keep up in this ring. I'm hydroplaning everywhere.
The rain's easing now. Looks like conditions are improving. Okay, Patrick. There's a car exiting the pits. Heads up.
I don't think it's gonna stop raining, is it? Man, I wish I had Bill here.
P9. This is a bit crowded. Come on, mate. Get your act together.
Oh, this guy's P24. Oh shit. God damn. Oh, I need to stop doing
track
that.
limits. The car in front of us is 1 lap behind.
On your left. Hold your line. Clear on the left.
Oh, outside, that's the way to go. Literally just trying to find the driest spots on the track.
For sure.
Outside, kind of dry. Now I'm going the inside.
The gap to P8 ahead is increasing. It's now 5.6 seconds. Alright, Patrick. It's stopped raining.
How long? He's gone.
The gap to P10 behind is now 6.0.
Damn. Oof. Jesus. I was trying to avoid that hydroplane. I know it happens, I can't avoid it. I don't know where the best place is to stop on that little sector. At least turn one. And Leon's leaving me in the dust, smoking my ass. So definitely more experience with the rain, because I'm just struggling. So Block is still behind me. He's got pace, he's got speed. And what else? Jonathan. Like no dry spots there. I'm trying my best to find the dry. Here it comes again. holding on to 7.9 seconds away. But he's built himself a gap. And a damn good one too. Oh shit.
10th position. He's gaining on you. The gap is now 2.4.
Oh.
He's quicker than you into second S's.
Oh, come on, Jeffrey. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Jeff. Oh, God, there's two of them. Oh, no. Jeff. Slip. Trying to find the drive. It's so hard here. Like what's dry?
Okay, Patrick, hold your nerve, just keep it smooth, no mistakes.
I'm gonna have to.
Sector 1 is 1.6, off the pace.
Left side, clear on the left.
Damn.
Right.
Because Jeff.
There's an incident.
I gotta let her
What
through.
happened? You think it'll leave?
Still there. You're clear on the right.
Sorry, Sherry.
Shite. Stay close.
That's okay,
You
I
might
was
get
trying
him
to let you
back.
by.
Robert.
Alright, let's see if we can learn a thing or two from Jeff. 'Cause he's clearly way faster than me. He's got pace. Tapping the brakes. Alright, so you tapped on the brakes there. That was it. Just one little tap. Just giving the
Car in
throttle all
front
the way
is
out.
block. E-license.
Block is gone. Now that he's left me in the dust. Adios, Block.
The gap to block ahead is increasing. It's now 1.8.
Not much faster than the boss. Didn't look like he's really confident in that last little
E-tap.
chicane, so maybe I could take advantage if I can stay close now. Alright, so you saw how like staying on the outside helped? try that in the future. Always on the outside. I didn't have any issues braking from the outside, so I'll try to make that a thing. But now I get to study block, so I saw that he did that one adjustment to turn one, and that helped so much. So hopefully I can carry that with me for the rest of the race.
Thanks, Robert.
Can't afford it just to keep glitching like that. Trying to get better rotation, but I'm just fucking that whole turn up. Block's leaving me in the dust. It's 2.9 ahead of me, so. Get off that paint, boy. Alright.
Thanks, Steve.
Man.
You're welcome.
Some cars up there.
Gap to block in front is now 2.4. Your lap time was 2:20.38. You're a second off the pace in sector 2. To block ahead is now 2.7. Okay, Patrick, 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes. Your lap time was at 2:18.88. Incident in turn 2. Looks like it's Lee.
Thank you, James.
to P9. Ahead is now 2.0 seconds.
So who's that? Robert and Jeff. They're going at it now.
Right side. We on the right.
Thanks, Keith.
The gap in front is now 1.4 seconds. There's an incident in second S's. It looks like Joe. There's an incident in Dunlop curve. We think it might be Joe.
Fuck. This is too fast for me.
Gap to P9. Ahead is now 2.1. Okay, Patrick, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left. 10th position. Sector 3 is 0.5 off the pace.
We just saw Leon. I never saw Leon earlier. Shit. Fuck, man. Block's getting away.
The gap to block ahead is increasing. It's now 4.9 seconds.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks, Robert.
Just trying to save fuel.
Be careful that first gear.
You've just done a 219.47. Sector 2 is 1.6 seconds off the pace.
Thank you.
There's an incident in Degna 1. It looks like back.
No,
The
back,
gap
yes.
to block ahead is now 4.8.
Spot.
Incident in Degna 2. It looks like it's back.
Ooh, back again. Shit, we got the pieces. I think I've accepted fate. This is all I'm good for is P10 today. Gets me slight
Thanks, Robert.
points. Not a lot, but slight points. The sponsors will be thrilled.
There's an incident in the hairpin. It looks like it's Joe.
It needs more engine braking just to make it stop. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know what's causing it to glitch so bad, but I'm gonna need to look into that.
Thanks, Robert. You've just done a 218.64.
I will say this is probably one of the hardest races I've ever had to do. Just in the rain like this.
Okay, Patrick, 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. Keep
These
digging.
guys aren't no joke either. You know, they're good. So, I'm definitely in here getting humbled. Well, I never feel like I'm the fastest guy, so there's not much to humble, but still. I think that it's kind of cool to pull off a P10 with these guys. I mean, when I look at them, I see like years of experience with these guys. Which is not
Thanks,
so
Robert.
good,
The gap to P9 ahead is increasing. It's now 8.6.
Stay on the right. For sure.
Yeah, I lost track.
We'll get him, John.
Keep it together. Oh, there's still this lap and then one more lap. I would imagine. I don't know.
Thanks, Ken. Almost get right back to you. Thanks, Rob.
The active block in front is now 9.6. 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes.
Yeah, block left me.
Thanks, Robert.
I'm supposed to learn off block. Damn. Well, he's that much better.
Thanks, kid. You're welcome.
All right,
Thanks, Pete.
we on the ride.
Thanks, Robert. No, last lap. Is that? Oh no, it's I lost somebody. But was for position.
White flag, one more lap.
Nice keep. First one was gonna go right 9:05. It's a wee bit off. It's 9:33. Hey, at least I got some points.
Thank you.
P10.
Right?
Yeah. It's all good.
Race control, can we get a look at that rejoin, leaving the S's?
Okay, Patrick. 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
10-4. This is going to be a post-race penalty because the checker flag is out. Check is still hot, so keep the comms clear until the announcement. But yes, that will be needed.
Copy, thanks. Thank you.
What's up, Jason? Bro, I'm struggling in this rain. Barely able to pull off P10 in the league race today, so.
P10. Okay, that's the finish. Well done, mate.
Oh, I don't know. I think the only incidents I had were just off tracks. I had 2 off tracks. I think that's it. After the rain. Jeez, man. Yeah, it was pretty tough race. I don't know. What you got going on, Jason?
765. I don't think I had any incidents, if you could check.
That's the end of the session.
Okay, the race is finished. The track is clear. Congratulations to Justin Carney on the win, Brad Dunn, Vernon Messer, second and third. The 3 of you are on the podium. If we can get the 292, 241, and 56 car drivers to the broadcast interview radio channel on Discord. That's for your post-race interviews. Those awesome people in broadcast would love to hear your story. Have a push-to-talk button set up, because that's how Discord works in that channel. If you have any questions about tonight's penalties, please submit them to the Series 15 channel Ask Race Control on Discord. But wait until we post the penalties to the penalties channel.
We're going to be racing some
first.
ovals?
We're going to take a look at a couple of things here. And I think that last station to call 765. Are you still there, 765?
Yes.
And what are we looking at?
It said I had 4 incidents, but I don't think I really went off at all.
I can let you know here. We'll take a look.
I can tell you now, those 4 incidents, that was before the green flag. There was a concertina coming together, coming through the chicane. That's where you got those 4X.
Okay, thank you.
Alright. There's Dave right in front of me with the camo livery. I don't know what happened.
Nice racing,
Dave.
everybody. Thanks, Race Control. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Alright. See, so we're not allowed to cross until we get beyond that checkered flag. So everybody's just taking it easy. They're very, very critical with the different like the starts. Like if you have any incident points, or I'm sorry, incidents while starting, then at that point they will give you a harsh penalty. So everybody's trying to keep it clean. That Lego rejoin was horrible with the 670. I understand he didn't want to lose positions, but come on, bro. You can't rejoin like that.
That was a cool race, Adam. Thanks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, good job, man.
And Dave went wide there, so I went ahead and took full advantage of that. So now, I definitely want to check the broadcast out, though. I think that's what I'm going to do next. Let's see what everything entailed.
but couldn't make it number
Some trips are felt beyond words. No one connects you to the Pacific Coast like Princess. Princess Cruises. Book now.
Well, hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome back here to RaceSpot TV, and welcome back to the PCA Challenge class. This is round number 6 of the season, coming to you tonight from Suzuka. My name is Ron Mullins. Alongside me in the broadcast booth is Jeremy Scott. Hugo Luis is our producer for tonight's broadcast. Well, Jeremy, as we get towards the end of Series 15 here in the PCA world, we head off to a track that has proved to be a rather challenging one for these racers over the past couple of weeks here in this series. I adore Suzuka. I think it's put on some brilliant racing, and with mixed conditions playing havoc to these racers as well, you can never really be too sure what to expect here in these races.
No, and of course it is Japan, so anytime you come and race here, you're gonna get wet at some point. So I'm really excited. Last week was a lot of fun. Let's see what this week has to bring.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. It is going to be a wild one for sure. And of course, we will touch on those changeable conditions. Taking a quick look at the season calendar, only 2 races left to go once we are done with this. This is the final international race of this season as we come back to the States for the final 2 races. Road Atlanta in 2 weeks' time here in the PCA Challenge class, and Daytona to round off the entirety of Series 15 here in the PCA Sim Racing Series at Daytona. Taking a look and a gander at our championship point standings heading off into this race, things are looking good for Brad Dunn, holding on to 1,330 points as his current tally. Vernon Messer is slotted in P2. Leon Steinman is slotted in 3rd. The gap between those 2 drivers is certainly a lot closer than it is between Dunn and Messer, but the margin between Steinman and Eskridge super duper close, only 20 points, and then you have to go only another 20 back to John Kaplan at 5th. Keith Markison, Justin Carney, Chris Drankovitz, Jonathan Zasportis, and James Legault round out your top 10 here in the challenge class. As we get into our qualifying coverage, Brad Dunn, your current provisional pole sitter, Les Carmichael gonna play me like a fiddle, jump up to the top.
Well, it's still early. Brad Dunn won 3 out of the last 5 races. He's been quite well with the stranglehold here on the points so far. He took the last round at Olton Park and decided to use it as his draft. Here comes Andrew Hillman across the line. Whoa, that's a quick one, as it's a 2-minute 7.80, but I don't think that's going to hold because Drankowitz just drops a 2-minute 8.21.
And again, some super quick lap times. This is probably one of the longer laps that these drivers will have to circumnavigate all season long, just in terms of lap time. Now, in terms of distance, this track does pack a punch, 3.6 miles long, but 17 turns packed into it, and 17 iconic turns in the world of motorsports, not only domestically in the world of Japan, which has some amazing racetracks, but across the globe as well. You think of Suzuka, you think of some of the iconic moments that have come out of this place over the years, whether it be some controversy and some amazing racing in Formula One, or even some of the stories to come out of Super Formula, formerly known as Formula Nippon, an amazing series as well. If you haven't gone into Super Formula, I highly recommend it. It is amazing stuff there. But this track, it is iconic and historic for a very, very good reason.
It really is, and You know, obviously with Formula One there this weekend, I've been inundated with classic, classic Suzuka clips. So no surprise that this is a fan favorite. Doesn't matter if it's sports cars, open wheel cars, or even stock cars. Remember, NASCAR made the track out to Suzuka back in the 90s. They didn't use the full course. Right where turn 7 is, they would hang a right and make a U-turn back onto the pit straight right here and make an 8-turn course, basically straight away with S's. You know, it's kind of like calling a pig a beef if it was, if it didn't have pork.
Yeah, this track is a one that has seen a wide variety of racing. I like how you brought up the NASCAR stories that come out of this place. I believe Jeff Gordon on the first race here. It was an exhibition race, and kind of towards the end of NASCAR's foreign expansion. I would love to see IndyCars race around here, but the last time they did was back in 2011, as just saw quick changes up at the front. Andrew Hillman briefly jumped up to the pole before Chris Tarankovic overtook him for that top spot. Now 0.43 seconds is the margin between your top two at the moment. Tarankovic really looking hungry to try and grab this pole position. Now, throughout this season, we have seen quite a few intriguing storylines develop in terms of our pole sitters. We haven't had one back-to-back. Now, if Chris Tarankovic would be able to get the job done here, it would be back-to-back poles, although he has grabbed one. It was at Phillip Island for round number 2. Leon Snyman was your pole sitter last time out at Alton Park, but Tarankovic looking to try and grab his second pole. Patrick Aguirre is heading his way off through the final corner right now. Let's see what the driver of the 981 car does as he comes towards the stripe. Currently qualified in 21st in the Hooter machine. Will he jump up higher? I believe he will. Up inside the top 20, although didn't break his way inside of the top 15 yet. Just barely missing out 16th when it's all said and done here in qualifying. As the clock strikes 0 and qualifying winds itself to a conclusion, it's got to be Chris Tarankovic grabbing his second pole position here this season, continuing on a streak that we have had in this series over the past 4 rounds of various different pole sitters week in and week out. Brad Dunn, Justin Carney, Leon Steinman, and now Chris Tarankovic, albeit Brad Dunn and Chris Tarankovic now part of a very elusive club of drivers with 2 poles here this season. Jeremy, let's take a look at how Tarankovic was able to get that pole.
Well, one thing that's going to be interesting, too, is during the race, how drivers handle the first turn right here. This is where a lot of drivers went off, especially in the wet, and Tarankovic really takes it nice and tight. And as somebody who is would probably be a fellow Chicago region member if he was able to get into PCA, he too would understand how to drive this track, because it's much like driving on the Kennedy Expressway during a non-rush hour. You're full speed, you're going left, you're going right, you're going left again up here through the S's, and that's going to set, and then one more big left, and that's the Dunlop curve. And then a couple of my favorite turns in all of motorsports, Degner 1 and Degner 2. Why? Because the commitment that you need. Yeah, you need to scrum off some speed, but you still need to attack them at 10/10. That sets you up for the hairpin, one of the tightest hairpins that you'll see in motorsports, because you turn and then you take a hard left into a 180-degree hairpin, and then that sets you up for 200R, a very wide right-handed corner, which is turn number 12. And of course, you don't need to call it a corner because it's more like a straightaway, just a little curved. That sets you up for the spoon curve, which also spoons you up for the back straightaway. Now, that's also the alternate pit road, which we will not use here in this race, but still, I can remember playing F1 on my PSP when it came out, and it was absolutely fantastic to be able to race on such a legendary circuit. And there's no more legendary corner here than 130R. Let's listen in to see how he takes it. Flat out if you can do it, and that just gives you that extra incentive to try something here at the Casio Triangle. Now, here's the thing, Ron. I'm going to keep my eye on the Casio Triangle, because last week during the club race, you and I both saw, as well as Joe Peak, that drivers tried to make passes into the Casio Triangle, but 9 times out of 10, it did not work, and I think we're going to see that same success rate tonight.
You know, I think that's a very good theory that you bring up there, Jeremy. I will sign off on that entirely. It's a good spot to try and get a move done, but can very easily end in total catastrophe. So keep an eye on that to maybe be a trouble spot throughout tonight's action here at Suzuka as drivers eyeball the opportunity to contend for a crown as we get towards the end of Series 15. I want to thank you all for tuning into the action here on RaceSpot TV. Happy to have you be a part of us and have RaceSpot TV be a part of your Thursday evening plans. We'll take a look at that starting grid in just a couple of moments' time. Run you through the lineup as these drivers will tackle what is going to be a awe-inspiring race for us to watch here in the booth. Maybe slightly nerve-wracking for the drivers behind the wheel. And here it is. Chris Drankovitz will start from the pole. Andrew Hillman joining him on the front row. Les Carmichael will start this race in third next to Vernon Messer in fourth. Brad Dunn and Justin Carney will complete row number 3. And meanwhile, row number 4 is going to be Joe Birkenstock alongside John Kaplan. Jonathan Susportas will start this race in P9. Robert Galais will be in 10th. Keith Markison will be in 11th. Alongside him will be Alex Lidback starting this race in 12th. Lucky spot P13 will go to James Legault. P14 alongside him on row 7 will be Dave Jones. Leon Snyman will be in P15 alongside Patrick Aguirre in 16th. Harpreet Bath will be in 17th place alongside Jim Garamani starting this race in P18. 19th will be Adam Holland. Rounding out your top 20 is going to be Jeffrey Block. Just only 3 more rows left to go. Juan Fong will be in 21st. Jack Stevenson in 22nd. Lisa Eskridge in that Powerpuff Girls car will be in 23rd. Kenneth Eskridge will be alongside in 24th with Andy McCune and Sherry Lee rounding out your 26 drivers set to grab the green flag in a few moments' time here, Jeremy. Now, we saw in that club class race 1 week ago how action-packed it was in the dry. Then you throw the rain in the midst and all carnage breaks loose.
Yeah, basically. And so it's going to be interesting to see when and if the rain does decide to show up. And I think that we're going to see probably the same amount of calamity and mayhem that we saw in that in that race last week. And I think it's going to be very, very fun, very interesting, as some drivers would say those were darn near close to what would be red flag conditions if we were really racing.
Yeah, now one thing to raise here about the PCA Challenge class, the weather conditions, whenever rain is thrown in the midst, usually a little bit more tempered for these drivers that in some cases are either very new to sim racing in the sense that they don't have the same level of experience and in-sim track time that the other drivers in the series do. They're just looking to find their footing, so you don't want to throw them completely into the deep end of the pool, but rain at Suzuka is always going to be something that tests drivers, whether veteran or newcomer, as we see the field lining up in the run-up right down into Spoon Curve. We can take a look at those weather conditions and track conditions right now, Jeremy. Rather temperate for now, outside of some howling winds, which I always call a nice Midwest breeze. But at the moment, this would be like perfect weather if it remained this way throughout.
It really would be, but Ron, I'll say something. One of my old bosses at one of the racetracks I used to work with told me once I'm stubborn and set in my ways. And with that in mind, that's why I think, you know what, if it rains, they've got to learn sometime, you know? I mean, it doesn't have to be a deluge like it was last week. It can be, you know, a moderate-sized rain. Level 2, as our friend Jake Sperry would say, but let them get out there, get some rain experience. You know, you only live once.
And, you know, I often share stories from my own karting career, and I'll share one here. First time I ever got the opportunity to run in the rain was at the Solo Nationals for the SCCA back in 2016. First time I'd ever been out to Lincoln, which for those who aren't in the autocrossing sphere, the Solo Nationals are on this giant ramp at a National Air Guard base out in Lincoln, Nebraska. Huge area. I was 11, not even running in the top class of junior karts at the time. I was in JB, which was pretty much the slowest things that were running out there. Running in the rain for the very first time. We didn't even have a cover for the carburetor, so I got halfway through the run and the engine started to suck in water, which is part of the reason why the ensuing oil change made the motor oil look kind of like strawberry Nesquik. So I apologize to anyone who's deciding to eat dinner at the moment or is having dessert. Protein.
Yum. Oh, that sounds like fun. I can just hear the engine go. Because, yeah, I mean, you mix any kind of rain and a tarmac, and you're just going to have a bad time.
And, you know, I will say, and this is honest, I'm not sure if my microphone caught it because it can sometimes be sensitive to this. My chair just made a very similar noise to what my engine did shortly thereafter. So if I go down on the deck, that'll add into the spice of life that we have here on this broadcast. But about to get up and rocking and rolling for round number 6 of the PCA Challenge class. Rain is coming and coming quick. Only about 25 minutes until the rain starts to hit the circuit and turn into a deluge. The field is coming to that green flag, which is now out, and the drivers are on their way. We're racing here at Suzuka. Dream start there from your pole man, and Drankovic's got to try and lead him off into turn number 1. Is 3 wide right behind. That's gutsy stuff. Drivers trying to strike while that iron is hot and get the moves done early, but our pole man doing everything that he needs to do as the battling continues right behind him.
Yeah, so far so good. We made it through the first couple of corners, not so bad. Now we just have to hold our breath just a little bit through the S's as Drankovich with a commanding lead. I wouldn't say commanding lead. He's got a lead over Hillman, Dunn, and Carmichael. Of course, any lead over Brad Dunn at this rate is a commanding lead, especially when it's more than half a second around through the Dunlop curve and headed towards the Dagners. This is going to be the first true test outside of the first turn for these stars and cars of the Challenge Series. Everybody making it through it. Of course, you know as well as I do, once it gets wet, the Dagners become super slippy.
Yeah, that was a slip and slide last week. Everybody was sliding off the track there. As you can see, Justin Carney getting moved on Vernon Messer off into the hairpin. That was pretty commanding stuff. As now feeling some pressure, Carney dropping down. He had that move set, but things rapidly deteriorating away from his favor. Jonathan Susportas getting a move put on him as he drops down to 7th. Thankfully able to shake off a challenge from John Kaplan, is now fighting back onto Susportas off into the spoon curve. He's going to jump his way up into 6th. That's how he got a move done there.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get these moves done early, because the only way you're going to get moves done once it gets wet is if somebody goes off in, the first turn, the Casio Triangle, spoon curve. Basically, all of your heavy braking zones, you really got to worry about. That's where it becomes a slip and slide, and I'm not talking about the fun kind that you have the rocks that you end up putting under just to mess with your friends. But either way, everybody's kind of straightened down for the most part and getting into some sort of rhythm as you're watching Carney hold off Susportas for that 6th spot. But up front, it's all Drankovich going into the first turn, and I saw that Hillman kind of poked to the inside. He's a little bit far away to make any sort of Ayrton Senna move. I wouldn't even make it this early, but either way, still plenty commanding lead as we see. I think it's Patrick Wire right there who's trying to pop out for position as he goes to the inside. The driver out of the Lone Star region trying to go high, wide, and handsome over Alex Lidback.
You brought up some bad memories for me in terms of slip and slides. Last time I was on a slip and slide, I had more grass in my mouth than a Highland cow. It was a rough encounter, I will tell you that with confidence. Patrick Aguirre holding on to P14, but a gap growing between himself and Harpreet Bath in the 915 cars. So going to see if he can maybe try and reel that back, or whether that's going to be a permanent division in this field. As I said, right as we grab the green, everybody looking to strike while that iron is hot and get these moves done before the rain arrives. I said that it would be coming up rather soon. We're currently at the moment pushing 12:05 p.m. in sim time. The rain is forecasted to come at the latest at 12:30. Now, that tracks with what we have seen throughout the week, with the rain usually coming up around there. And I know from our own experience with a club broadcast 1 week ago, when that rain comes, it quickly turns the racetrack from bone dry into the aforementioned slip and slides.
And of course, welcome to PCA Club Racing on the race spot. Come for the racing, stay for the very strange hot food references. Oh, that's not good, as Gallius spins off at Spoon Curve and leaves the rear wing as a little bit of a souvenir and a little bit of a back end push as well. Not sure what happened there, but that's a corner where you can really lose it on your own very quickly, where the back end will definitely swap ends, and there's not much runoff. Oh, and he's crab walking as well, so he's got more problems than just bodywork damage. Keith Markison, one of those drivers who was slipping in. Oh, a little contact there with James Legault. And yeah, I think unfortunately it was just a wrong place, wrong time for Gallius, as he's got to come into the pits and get his problems and ailments all fixed up.
Yeah, so 3-car Shamazel heading off through Spoon, and fortunately for Gale, as he got hit in the back corner of that car, exactly where a race car does not want to get hit. Bent the suspension, wrecked his race almost immediately. He's going to have to come down pit lane to repair that, because even if he didn't pick up a meatball flag from that suspension damage at Suzuka, that is not a winning formula. James Legault missing a front bumper, so the air conditioning mod's breaking out already. It's hot out there. It's not that hot, so Legault going to start to drop down, especially on the flat-out sections of this racetrack. Leon Steinman going to try and get a move put on him. Now, Steinman running in 12th at the moment. He's had a very odd campaign through to this point. Has been able to grab one pole position. That was last time out at Oulton Park, but outside of that, it's been rather tough for him so far here in this Series 15 campaign, as we just saw Legault run wide off into the Degner curves. Maybe a preview for what we can expect later on once the rain arrives.
Yeah, I think at that point, you're just playing in the sand trap. But either way, Legault having some problems, and he's definitely going to have to come in and get those fixed. Of course, also, his area of the country dealing with some pretty nasty weather as well, so I don't know how much of that has to play a part in it. Here's Alex Lippback, and he's going to get around Legault for that 17th spot in just a matter of time. I would say probably on that back straightaway. Don't want to make a pass into the Spoon curve. Yeah, that's not a good place to pass, especially when you're limping your way around the racetrack. But already some drivers getting into some rough times here, as we're only a couple laps into this race.
Yeah, we're still trying to settle this race into a groove, and we've already had a little bit of craziness break out. Drivers with a very easy mistake to make heading off through Spoon Curve. Don't get me wrong, it's a mistake that is easy to make, but a mistake nonetheless. Drivers getting caught out by that and still dropping down. In the case of Legault with that front bumper damage, he may be eyeballing a pit stop here soon. I think he may. Actually, no. Yeah, at this point, a pit stop would be a true detriment, as he actually is coming down in pit lane. A black flag as well for Keith Markison in the 076 car. Just saw that pop up on our feed. There may have been an incident. We'll have to go back and take a look to see there, because Markison, he did get a piece of that drama earlier, but that was quite some time ago, so there had to have been some sort of extracurricular drama breaking out. That or iRacing finally decided to give him a meatball flag about 2 minutes after the fact. He's actually...
Let's see here what the replay is with that. Oh, you know what? I bet you they probably brought him in on a solid black for failing to control his car. Because, I mean, he could have controlled it, but at the same time, that's kind of one of those situations where you think you have control of it, and the back end says, nah, I'm just going to go ahead and go around. By the way, I like how Hugo knows where his bread is buttered to make his announcers happy, as it's my favorite Chicago car with Rainbow Cone and Bona Beef on the back.
Yeah, the Chicago region driver of Jack Stevenson currently holding on to a spot inside the top 20. I like the color scheme on that car. I think pale pink, if done right, can be absolutely gorgeous on a race car. So look at this side-by-side racing. Gutsy stuff with Block trying to get a move done here. That's himself and Garamani as they had their way off through Spoon Curve side-by-side. Who's going to win out in this battle? You can give it to Jeffrey Block. That's how you scrap through there. These drivers still going side-by-side on exit, though. Props where props are due. It takes two to tango, and these drivers are giving us a dance.
Yeah, I don't think Garamani is done right now, because of the simple fact he's all over the back of Block there for that 15th spot. And, yeah, this is going to be a great race as they close in on the 144 of Adam Holland running the Roxy colors. Which, by the way, did you notice last week that Roxy didn't lose her front teeth at Sebring? So I guess that she's got a thing or two to show Rexy. But, yeah, stuff like that is just so fun to watch. And I love what AL Racing has done for the kids, basically, in IMSA.
Yeah, I love the Sebring 12, but unfortunately I wasn't able to tune into pretty much any of it. I was on the air throughout most, if not all, of the day. See, Oh, as I can see, that was Andrew Hillman slow. That was very odd. I wonder if he had a sideways wiggle heading off through turn number 7, because that is an unusual spot. Unless there's maybe a slowdown there, because he is continuing to lose that time. I think he's back up to pace now, but Hillman, with some kind of moment, he has dropped down to 3rd. It's caused the gaps to grow up at the north end of the field. I'll look to confirm this myself to see what the deal was with Hillman. At first, I was wondering whether some sort of crash took place, because that is very unnatural to see a car pretty much pulled off into the grass there on the infield. That was very strange indeed.
That is very strange indeed, but let's see what happens here in the coming laps. But either way, it's going to be interesting to see if Hillman can close in once again, because, yeah, you don't lose that much without having any issues. Justin Carney sitting there in the 292, closing in on Vernon Messer, as that's a battle for 5th place, and you see that Messer kind of getting smaller and smaller, but I always love hearing drivers work their way through 130R. But either way, it's been quite interesting to see. You get the right, the left, and now the right again through the Casio Triangle. Yeah, everybody line of stirring through there. You might as well get the good laps running in while you can, because once it rains, it's either going to be dipped or baptized. And I'm talking about the bone of beef. Back to that real quick. You talk about the pink on the front of that Porsche. That's actually the paint that they use on all the Rainbow Cone stores, even the ones that are attached to Bona Beefs here in Chicagoland.
I feel like I need to go to Chicago just to enjoy the food. The only times I was ever, around the Chicago area was just on the trip either to or from Lincoln, Nebraska for the Solo Nationals, as I shared that story earlier on. Did get the opportunity to have a deep dish pizza at a place called Bam Pizza. It was a little outside. I believe it was in Portage, Indiana, if my memory serves me correctly. Far off suburb. Was staying at a hotel there, and the reason why we wanted to order Bam was that was our team name at the time. It was Broke $, Motorsports. You can fill in the blanks right there. But yeah, this has been a very entertaining race that we've been treated to up to this point. I do want to continue on talking about Keith Marcuson, though, because I just caught this in the corner of my eye looking at a second monitor here. Marcuson has come down pit lane to serve that black flag twice. So at that first moment, and it hasn't been 2 black flags being divvied out, he just came into the pits for a second time. I don't think that he served the first black flag correctly. Either that or he somehow hit the incident point limit, which to do that at this point of the race with the rain still closing in on the track, that is a bad omen.
It really is. But, here's the thing, too. You come into the pit lane so fast, where Marcuson could have had an automatic black flag from iRacing for entering too quick into pit road. So that might be a possibility, but we'll dig deeper into this. Either way, this battle between Messer and Carney looking pretty good. Also, they're trying to chase down the 912 of Les Carmichael, where they also have Andrew Hillman now in their clutches. Get close to the driver you want to race with, because once it rains, it's going to be every man and every driver for themselves working around the circuit. And like you and I said, we learned over the past week. The first turn, treacherous. The Degner curves, treacherous. Spoon curve, it's okay. 130R, surprisingly not bad, as once again Holland and Block in a tight battle here through the first turn, and that gives Geremini a good chance to take a look at this battle. And you don't want to battle too rough on the S-curves, because Ron, you know as well as I do that those tire walls out there on the outside will come and swallow you up real quick.
Yeah, those tire bundles, I often say, they're not like a teddy bear in real life, but they're even worse on iRacing. Whether they're made out of the matter of a white dwarf star, lead, tungsten, doesn't really matter. If you hit one of those or snag a wheel, it's going to end your race lickety-split. Oh! That's a driver off the circuit heading off through the Degners. Not sure who that was. We'll have to look to confirm who that was. But very odd section of the racetrack to lose, as it was Marcuson. Oh, and he hits the wall, too.
And this is in the dry. This is stuff that we were seeing in the wet last week. So if Markuson's having problems in the dry, I would hate to see what would happen if he was in the wet. But you are watching Patrick Aguirre now as he has to hold off Leon Snyman for the top 10 position. Snyman coming up pretty well throughout the field right now. He is find Snyman. I saw him on here. He's third in points so far. His only drop is Sebring in round 3. So Snyman, for him to be this far back, he has to have some sort of issues here. But either way, you know as well as I do, Suzuka's a very tough track to master in the dry.
Oh, absolutely. The first opportunity I ever really had to drive around this track extensively was on the F1 games as a kid playing on, any of the games from F1 2012, probably up until 2014 when I really first got the opportunity to drive around this track. As we see Leon Snyman with a sideways wiggle heading out of the Casio Triangle. He had a small little dip off into the grass, but nothing more out of control and wild than that. Those small little moments of muted terror, it happens a lot here around this place. So we'll keep an eye as this race goes on, as we see that rain start to close up here too. Those small little moments of pure fear and anxiety as a driver snags the wheel off the track and goes off the circuit, they're going to get even worse, especially in the rain. That's when it gets super difficult. As here we see Justin Carney getting it moved on Vernon Messer, commanding stuff, heading off through the hairpin, but it's not over yet. Messer with the better exit on the outside line, going to hold on to that P5 spot.
Yeah, Messer doing all he can to stay into the 5th position while trying to close in on Les Carmichael. So this is a very tight battle for 4th on back into 5th. You see Block and Holland moving up spots. It's Dave Jones falling down through the order, so he has an off track. He loses 3-4 spots down to 17th as we see the replay here, and that back end just swapping ends. Wanting to see what that front end's looking at through the hairpin, and luckily for him it was at the point of the hairpin to where he could see where the cars are coming around. But move Carmichael to still in 4th place as they're working their way into the Casio Triangle.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot throughout this broadcast, and we will talk about it even more right now. That rain rapidly approaching upon this track. I said that it was roughly 15 to 20 minutes out. It is imminent in the iRacing zoomed in view of the track. The rain is starting to hove into view from the northwest, and it is going to swipe across this racetrack with quite a lot of anger. It's going to be light to start off with, but it will quickly go off into to yellow levels of rain. Going to be a lot heavier as we savor the sights of this track in purely dry conditions. This is going to be an alien sight come time for the end of this race. I think these drivers know that, which is part of the reason why they're trying to savor the view. Certainly one driver able to savor the view is Chris Durankovitz, who is still your race leader with a 1.8 second margin between himself and Brad Dunn. Have to go a little bit farther back to find Hillman, who's not too far in front of this little train of cars that includes the likes of Les Carmichael, Vernon Messer, and Justin Carney. 3-car squabble for the final 2 spots inside of the top 5.
You might hear some thunder back here because it is starting to rain here at the Helmar Radio Ranch, and that's actually what's coming down headed towards Suzuka right now. But you see what this battle has done for Carney, as now he is able to close in on Messer and Carmichael a little bit more. But I've got to say this, Messer, he just cannot find his way around Carmichael, and that's given Hillman a little bit of new life there, as he's opened up about a 1.5 second gap ahead of the Carmichael-Messer battle. And looks like that we might be starting to see either some sort of precipitation, but it almost looks like it's precipitation of the rubber kind.
Yeah, when those marbles are built up on the side of the racetrack, they're raining that, and you know how we talked about the slip and slide earlier on? That's just going to kind of crank that up another notch. I'm not sure how you can have an extra slippery slide. Maybe, I don't know, a little bit of olive oil poured down there. That does not seem very friendly for your lawn, but you know, I'm not a lawn care expert, so I would not be qualified to talk about that. You see Les Carmichael going a little bit wide off through turn number 2. Vernon Messer is all over the back of him here at the current moment as we look at these battles starting to cool off ever so faintly here. So I think we'll use this as an opportunity to talk about the wonderful partner that we have here in the PCA series here in 2026. We are thrilled to have Princess Cruises continue as our PCA Sim Racing title sponsor for 2026. With 17 ships sailing to 345 destinations on 7 continents, world-class cuisine inspired by the places we visit, and the friendliest crew at sea, Princess is ready to welcome you on board. And specifically for PCA members, join the Treffin at Sea 2026 Pacific Wine Country Cruise on the Grand Princess, sailing from Vancouver to Los Angeles September 19th to the 25th. Go to the website link on the screen, pca.princesspartnerships.com, or call 833-679-2188 to speak to a PCA travel concierge agent. That is 833-679-2188. We would like to thank Princess Cruises for making the action possible here in the PCA, and there is still so much left at stake for these drivers. First 20 minutes down, still 40 minutes left to go. Drankovic leading from the pole, but that rain rapidly approaching upon this racetrack may be applying more pressure to these racers as we see Vernon Messer close up to the back of Les Carmichael all through 130R into the Casio Triangle. Not sure if he will go for the dive just yet, but I know he's certainly considering it.
Yeah, I think that the Casio Triangle, while it looks inviting, it sounds inviting, a lot of these drivers are not going to chance that as they work their way off the final corner, turn number 18 down the straightaway to complete yet another lap. And I can't say as I blame them, how many times, Ron, have we seen races where somebody's tried to do something in the Casio Triangle and it's just ended in tears for them. So, for them to be a little more apprehensive, of course, with the challenge, Club's going to take more chances as Leon Snyman comes into the pits. But Challenge, I think that, they're still trying to get their feet under them, and they're trying to get everything about them, get their sea legs, as we like to say, here in wheel racing.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about series like this. Drivers just looking to find their footing here in this championship as we're starting to see rain come down. The rain is here. It's here with a vengeance. The windshield wipers are turning on. The headlights are burning bright. We have some drivers already coming down pit lane now. In the club class race 1 week ago, we saw the other crossover points be fairly cut and dry. It was only 2 laps really the difference between the first drivers coming down pit lane and the last. But with the rain here in this event set to be lighter, maybe a little bit more touch and go. Justin Carney nearly drove off into the grass trying to get it moved on Les Carmichael. They duke it out as well, heading off into Spoon, but not able to get the move done. Carney feeling the pressure with the rain starting to come down, as well as Vernon Messer running right over the back of him. Carmichael runs a little bit wide, all through the marbles, all through the dirty part of this racetrack that's starting to get scrubbed clean with this rain coming down. Carney and Carmichael side by side as they head their way down the backstretch into 130R. One driver's going to have to yield, and that driver will be Les Carmichael. Carney going to hold on to that spot, but now the rain is coming down uber quick. Look at the spray coming off the back of these cars. I'm expecting at least one driver inside our top 10 to come down pit lane. It's getting really touch and go out there as right as I say that, your entire top 3 come down pit lane nose to tail, and everybody else is following in. Hillman comes into the pits at the tail end. Carney comes into the pits as too. Les Carmichael, Vernon Messer going to file into the pits. Kaplan and Susportus as well. It's a flood out there on the racetrack. It's a flood down pit lane 2.
And this kind of tracks with what we saw last week where the rain comes down and within a half lap we start to see the spray coming off of the slick tires. Now they'll come in, get the wets, and they'll usually last them throughout the race. But either way, everybody coming down to pit. I see our buddy Romero saying he wants to cruise the Caribbean on Princess. Yeah, I'm proud to say my wife and I will be doing that in January as Drankowitz comes out. Brad Dunn is we're not too far behind with Les Carmichael. Vernon Messer, as you see there, is coming out in the 4th spot. So Justin Carney will jump him on the straightaway. And really, pit stops mean a lot when it comes to, how long you're on pit road. You take that pit time and you double how much, for example, let's take a look at Birkenstock. In theory, he should be about a half second ahead of Susportis as they work their way around the circuit right now.
Yeah, I'm looking as well in iRacing. They're currently marking the track off as lightly wet. So that crossover period has now fully arrived, and this is now, we're entering phase 2 of this race. The rain is down, these drivers having to dance with the devil around this racetrack. We've talked extensively already in this broadcast about how challenging it is to just keep it on the road in the dry. You put these drivers in wet conditions, and that challenge I can't even say it gets doubled or tripled. I would say it goes up exponentially. You're probably looking at 10 times the challenge throwing rain in the midst. Now, I adore racing in the rain. I absolutely love it. My dad, back when I was still in karts, used to call me a mudder for a very good reason. I adored racing in the rain. And it seemed like racing in the rain adored me, but it is still challenging. Even for the people who love it, it is still such a difficult ask, especially with 35 minutes left to go in this race. These drivers are going to fry their brain cells by the time they get to the end of this race, as we see Carmichael rejoining the racetrack after a mistake into the hairpin.
And we're going to see a lot of that. And, basically this race is going to be of attrition. I would not be surprised to see some drivers get pulled off the racetrack as Carmichael goes wide and right into the gravel trap. And all he has to do right now is just bide his time, because we're going to see more and more of these incidents with drivers going off the racetrack. It's just a matter of time. And of course, here's what's going to be interesting too. At what crossover point do these drivers realize, you know what, I think it's probably safe for me to take the rain line. Oh, that's a spinner right there, as Snyman tries to go around the inside of Susportis, and Susportis pinching him down to where the water is collecting on driver's left, down side by side through the back straightaway as they work their way through 130R. Who gives first? It's going to be Susportis as he lets Snyman go through to try and see if he loses it through 130R. He doesn't. Moves Snyman well into the 9th position.
Yeah, so Snyman, who started this race a little bit farther back, making his way up the running order, as we see Andy McCune taking that crazy train ride all through Spoon Curve, having to back away from the track very gingerly as he tried to go off the circuit. As that's another driver off the track, 2 of them even. That's Dave Jones in the 313 car, joined by the 163 of Jim Garamani, as we see the moment just sliding off the track, and Garamani right behind, piling in at even higher speed. Dave Jones very lucky that he got away with that. Spins off through 130R in the rain, can go one of 2 ways, and those were the 2 ways that can go. You either hit the wall or you have a Code Brown moment. Neither scenario is good, but one is certainly preferable over the other.
It really is. And Ron, let's take a brief second, because I noticed this watching the replay back from last week. Let's listen in. Hold on. The rain is so hard you can hear it off our cameras as well. Drankowitz with a comfortable 1.2 second lead, and I say that with one eye open because comfortable in the wet and 1 second, they don't normally go hand in hand. As you see Dunn closing in ever so slightly to your leader.
And I have a $1 million proposition for Hugo in the production truck. We need to get just the raw audio of these drivers out there on the racetrack and do some ASM, race spot ASMR of just the drivers running around the racetrack, the rain pitter-pattering around, and the roar of some of the engines in these Porsche 911 GT3 cars roaring around. Now, granted, the sound of a race car hitting the barrier, I'm not sure if that would please some viewers, but you gotta crack a couple eggs to make an omelet, I guess. We'll have to test that idea. As Chris Drankovich still holding on to the race lead, although that margin is fluctuating a lot. It's the rain, you should expect it to a degree. That 1 second margin between himself and Brad Dunn is smaller than what we saw earlier on here in this race. So keep an eye on Drankovich will we see that same pace continue in very different conditions than we saw on the racetrack a matter of nearly 10 minutes ago?
I will say this. Over the past couple of months, I've gotten very comfortable with going to sleep with throwing on a thunderstorm with white noise in the background. My wife finds it crazy, so I don't think it would be too crazy if we did rain white noise with race cars. I mean, look, IMSA did ASMR race cars for after the Rolex 24. Why can't we?
You know, that was something I did for a period of time as well. I always find it calming, in an odd sense, to fall asleep under a thunderstorm, which is very odd because one of the most vivid, like, terrifying nightmares I've had in recent memory as an adult was a couple of months ago when I had a nightmare of a thunder snowstorm. Don't know why that stuck out so vividly in my head. The primal fear that I felt that night was truly unbelievable. So here we go, side-by-side racing, Leon Snyman and Patrick Aguirre breaking up our discussion about this $1 million idea. Side-by-side racing all through the S's, heading through turn number 7. Snyman looking to jump his way up a 7th spot here, and he gets the move done on Aguirre, and now he'll try and look ahead to try and close up a frankly massive margin between himself and the driver farther up the road. Meanwhile, farther up the road, Drankovic and Dunn. You know how I said this battle may start to heat up? Well, I'm starting to get a slight sizzle on my hand. It is starting to heat up now with Dunn only 0.3 of a second behind, right in the coattails. Got a fantastic run, heading out Spoon Curve, pulling alongside, side by side in the wet here at Suzuka as they head their way down the backstretch off at a 130R. One of these drivers will have to yield, but I don't think either of them will. Dunn pulls ahead as they get to the apex. Drankovic backing out, rightfully so. Brad Dunn jumping into the race lead, your championship points leader, proving why he wants to be a champion here in the PCA.
Absolutely fantastic, and this is how you win championships. You get out there, get out front when the conditions are absolutely awful. You take a look at that front straightaway, and you're seeing a lot of standing water out there, and that's going to be important, especially when the rain ends up stopping here, because now you're going to have to find a place to cool off those tires, I should say. And so far, so good through the first turn, but I've got to say I'm still holding my breath every once in a while as you see Hillman trying to hold off Stevenson trying to hold off Lidback for position. That's a battle for 15th right now. And so far, Stevenson able to open up, and you see Lidback holding back from Holland in the Roxy colors. Behind him, Lisa Eskridge taking Sugar Spice and everything nice up to the top half of the field.
Yeah, and Lisa actually qualified in front of her husband, Ken, so that'll be an interesting discussion between those two in the other post-race debrief. I remember Ken was quite happy about the fact I didn't mention that a little bit earlier on this season. Don't worry, I'm not going to miss out on that second time. So sure, I'm sorry, Ken, that was mean. I apologize. But either way, fantastic performance from Lisa at the current moment here in this race, running in P18 and getting moves done in challenging conditions. There's been a stormer of a drive. I will commend not just singular drivers, though, right now. I will commend the whole field for what has been a very cleanly composed race for drivers up and down the pack. We're getting into the final 20 minutes of this race, and these drivers, even with the rain, have been able to, I wouldn't say master the conditions, but they've kept it smooth, they've kept it very clean, and I want to give some love to these drivers. I think that is something worth praising, because this is very, very tough. You know, we can say all we want here in the broadcast booth. We're not behind the wheel. If I was behind the wheel, I'd be spinning around like a ballerina.
Oh, exactly. Here's the thing, too, is, you know, both the Eskridges, they teamed up to win their class in GTP last time out for the TRS at Sebring. So, you know, yeah, they can go say, Ken can go, well, I'm behind you, but, hey, here's the thing. We still won the race. We won it together. They're leading the points in the GTP, in their GTP class. So there's that, but, I would imagine that Lisa might rub it in just a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing with racing with family. It could either be a husband and wife duo. It could be a it could be a blood duo between, you know, siblings, father son, mother daughter. In my time in racing, both, you know, announcing sim racing stuff and being involved in the world of motorsports ever since the age of about 4. I've seen pretty much every single side of it, and there's always that little rivalry there. There's always love in it, but a rivalry nonetheless. I first got into motorsports through drag racing, right as Ashley Force Hood, I believe the eldest daughter of John Force, was right at the peak of her time racing in the NHRA, and there would always be like the little, hey, what happens if those two race against each other? And just continued on with Courtney Force, who later raced in the series, and Brittany Force only recently retired. Always love to see it. Racing is a family sport. That's what I always adore about it. It's part of the reason of what grew my dad and I's bond. What was through motorsports after some personal family tragedy that we had to go through. We're kind of building a relationship for me at a very, very young age through the world of racing. It's what makes the motorsports family so tightly knit, even in the sim racing world.
No, it really is, and that's why you see, you know, families race together. You know, that's what, and then you see those legacies work their way through. So, you know, whether it is a married couple or an extended family, so that's something to think about. And of course, unfortunately, there were several families which shall not be named on this broadcast, which went through my mind during that time, and this is what has kept me out of the good schools. Our Pete Bath sitting in 7th place, knocking at the door of 6th. Les Carmichael, man, that off that he had has really hurt him as he's trying to get back up to the top 5 to close in on John Kaplan, but not able to do that so much right now as they work their way into 130R. But you see what Harpreet is doing right now. Harpreet, I'm sorry. Harpreet he's going offline. Now that's what you're going to see a lot during this during the rain, is you're going to see drivers, even if they're passing for position. Carney trying to go around Drankwitz, who loses another position after leading the race for oh so long. And I'm wondering when it comes to Drankwitz if he's just having issues with his car in the wet, because sometimes you set it up for what you think is good enough for wet conditions. As Bath looks to the inside of Carmichael, and he's going to think up better of it as Carmichael taking a defensive line into the first turn. They're going to be side by side into that first turn. Can they both survive? So far, so good, as Carmichael and Bath, they're holding hands, going neck and neck around that first turn, and Bath thinks better of it, tucks in behind Carmichael through the S's.
Yeah, so brilliant move there to jump up a spot. But getting back to the point that he raised, Jeremy, talking about these setup changes that may have gone down. Drankwitz may be running a setup for the dry, trying to extend a margin at the start of this race to just hold on it through the very end. Maybe that's the reason why he is dropping down. Maybe just a lack of confidence out there on the surface. But with the amount of time that he is losing, I would probably lean more towards the former instead of the latter. I think there may be some wholesale setup changes on that car designed to run in the dry that's just not converting over. It's definitely a slippery slope here. You know, the last time us broadcasters had to talk about the difference between a dry setup and a wet setup, I'm pretty sure Redline got DQ'd.
I hear they also had to change your name because of it as well, but either way, I don't want to throw that under the bus, or else I'd be thrown out of a press conference. Either way, Vernon Messer, 18 seconds behind the lead, trying to hold off John Kaplan. Kaplan up 3 spots. Bath, your highest climber so far, up 10 spots, sitting in 7th place. So this is what's great about the rains. It's such a great equalizer because you've got drivers who can, you know, handle it in the wet, and some drivers, this is their first time racing in the wet conditions. I'm looking at, obviously we're looking at a moderately wet track, but here's the thing. The ambient temperature and the track temperature are the exact same. 22 degrees Celsius, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So I've got to think that that's kind of got a part to play in it as well.
Yeah, and 72 degrees, especially for these tires, it's not terrible, but it's not that great either. We'll say one thing benefiting these drivers is the fact that the rain, I believe, has now fully stopped. So this track is gradually drying, but with the rain that already came down, that is, they won't be able to get it dry come time for the end of this race. I'll tell you that with confidence. Yeah, just looking at my own personal radar, we are at the exact tail end of the rain right now. So there is still a little bit of mist coming down, but it is very, very faint as we see side-by-side battling. This is Aguirre and Jeffrey Block fight for 9th into turn number 1. That's going to be Aguirre holding on to that P9 spot. Jeffrey Block not successful in that charge. But with the yin of the track temperatures maybe not being ideal for these racers, maybe it can be a blessing in disguise. With the track starting to dry off ever so slightly, these wet tires will not like that and will have one saving grace in the form of the track being a little bit cold. Yeah, I can't say cold. 72 degrees ambient temperature, that is pretty much perfect for me. I think more than that, and I start to melt. So 72 degrees sounds just about perfect. But for a set of racing tires, even wets, that can be a bit tough, but with everything starting to get a bit more bone dry than it was a matter of 10 minutes ago, this could be a picture-perfect scenario for the rain tires on these cars. As Aguirre going deep off into Degna 2. That's going to be Jeffrey Block jumping his way up into P9, getting that move done lickety-split to make his way up another spot. We'll keep an eye on these battles as we get into the final 20 minutes of this race, but we would once again like to thank Princess Cruises for continuing on as our PCA Sim Racing title sponsor here for 2026. With 17 ships sailing to 345 destinations on 7 continents, world-class cuisine inspired by the places we visit, and the friendliest crew at sea, Princess is ready to welcome you on board. And specifically for PCA members, join the Treffin at Sea 2026 Pacific Wine Country Cruise on the Grand Princess, sailing from Vancouver to Los Angeles September 19th to 25th. Go to the website link on screen, pca.princesspartnerships.com, or call 833-679-2188 to speak to a PCA travel concierge agent. That is 833-679-2188. We would once again like to thank Princess Cruises for making the action here on RaceSpot TV possible here in the Porsche Club of America Sim Racing Series as we get towards the end of Series 15. Still 2 more fantastic rounds left in all 4 of the PCA Sim Racing divisions. And of course, you'll be able to tune into all of the action live here on RaceSpot TV on Wednesday and Thursday nights. But never mind the action that we've got coming up here in the final few races throughout the month of April. We've still got the final 19 minutes of this race here, Jeremy. A final 19 minutes that is going to see another phase develop. The rain's already come, but now this track is going to get quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah, it really is, because now you're seeing times in the 19s, the 20s, the 21s. Mind you, the fastest laps were 201s, 202s, but I don't think we're going to touch that, especially if these drivers keep their wet tires on. And that also brings in another wrinkle in the plans. Right now, I'm still looking at moderately wet for the track. If this track becomes dry, now these drivers have got to learn, okay, I've got to find out where the wet spots are on the track to keep my tires alive. Because if you run wet tires a little too long, I mean, that's one way of keeping your wet tires happy. But if you keep running them too long on the dry run, you know as well as I do what happens. The tires get eaten up, they overheat, and then bad things happen.
You know, I've had the privilege of driving on a wet racetrack with dry tires and a dry racetrack with wet tires as Legault gonna fire off into the inside wall, lost it over the pit exit lane, and that is going to end his race in the blink of an eye. Legault with the sledgehammer shot into the inside wall. Right as I was going to talk about dry tires on a wet track being better, it's still a catch-22. You're either ending up on the wall backwards or forwards. Unfortunately for Legault, hit that wall virtually head on. That was a sledgehammer shot. Nearly rolls over as he heads his way off into the gravel trap. That's how quickly things can go wrong around here.
Yeah, you definitely want to stay off the paint, especially as the track stays wet, because you get into situations like that. Because if you stop and figure, you're losing a lot more grip being on painted surfaces than you would in over in regular surface. But either way, Adam Holland trying to hold off Juan Fong. That's a name we haven't said much today, but that just goes to show you how these drivers are faring. Fong up 4 places from his grid spot, and some drivers, as we've been saying, have been really great in the wet. Fong sitting back a little bit, though, trying to let Holland battle Stevenson, so that way this battle can come to him as Stevenson spins off at the spoon corner, touches that paint, and that's what we talked about. You touch that paint and you're going for a ride.
Yeah, once again, as quickly as things can go right for you here in the rain, they can go wrong even quicker. I do want to say, the newcomer that we've been covering, Juan Fong, I believe this is his first time racing with us here in this series. So happy to see some new names come into this championship as we see the moment for Jack Stevenson. Yeah, just running off the track. You've got like a triple whammy on the outside of many of these turns, Jeremy. You've got the painted white line, which, as we saw in that moment for James Legault heading off into turn number 1, the paint is not very grippy. Then you've got the curb, which is slightly serrated, so already the aero and weight balance is going to get thrown off, and then it's also paint, so the grip is going to be non-existent. And then you head into that small little patch of AstroTurf, you can see it there on the outside. Now, unlike the grass, but probably even more so because unlike the grass, which is an actual organic material, the AstroTurf is made solely of plastic, you're going to hit that, and it will feel like a slip and slide at a barbecue.
Yeah, and that's not going to feel good for anybody either way. So we'll see if Stevenson can get that baptized bone of beef rainbow cone steed back running with no problems. As you see, Leon Snyman up 7 spots. What a great race for him. I know this is kind of a redemption race because he started further back than what he's used to, sitting 3rd in points, and I actually took a look at the points real quick. Looks like Juan Fong has ran last time out at Oulton Park, but only garnering 70 points. So really for Fong, this is a great race for him, sitting in 16th, racing Adam Holland for position.
Yeah, so first race or not, what a debut for him here. Second race of his career, but putting together a good result, P16 at the moment, keeping it clean out there on the track. This is one of those races here for these challenge class drivers that they probably had eyeballed right at the start of this 2026, start of 2026 campaign here in Series 15 of the PCA Sim Racing Series. These drivers probably knew that this was going to be the hardest test of them all, and so far, for the most part, these drivers have passed with flying colors. They've given us some good racing, they've kept it clean, and they haven't been taking it easy, mind you. They've still been battling hard, they've still been pushing the limits. Now, sometimes they go over the limits, but still want to give props where props are due as we ride on board with Juan Fong. You know, despite the spray coming off the back of Adam Holland's car in front, I want to say, Jeremy, that I can see clearly now, and the, We're getting into a new phase here. I forgot the lyric.
There are certain things
now the rain is
as a
gone. Dang it.
I was going to say, there are certain things as a broadcaster that I don't say. I don't say the Q word on the air. I don't say the R word on the air, especially when it comes to motorsports. But Juan Fong making the rookie wet racing actually quite tantalizing, as once again he closes in on Adam Holland, almost makes a pass there, but he's going to sit in line through the S-curves once again, and possibly we'll see if he makes a move through the Degners or more than likely the hairpin or the spoon curve. But yeah, like you, I'm extremely impressed with the rookie out of the 025 running the, we're going to call that the Lello, because the man thought really making that popular here in club racing, much like AO Racing making the Rexy, Roxy, and even Spike paint schemes popular in iRacing.
And if there's anything that is terrifying to see in your rearview mirror, it is teeth. Looking right now at a fight between Leon Snyman and Les Carmichael. This is for 7th at the moment, as we've had a swap of rope on the front. Brad Dunn dropping down. He's gone off the circuit all through the S's. Justin Carney has assumed the race lead. Dunn, who looked to be in the fast lane to try and grab the victory with only 12.5 minutes left on the clock at the time, he's going off the circuit. Let's take a look at heading his way off through the S's, clean and green through there. Maybe just a slight tap of the paint and a big hit of the wall. Done. Losing out on the race lead to Carney, and that is huge.
That's something you don't see that often, ladies and gentlemen. Brad Dunn making a mistake as Snyman trying to get around Carmichael. He's taking a high defensive line. Carmichael is going out of Dunlap curb, heading towards the Digners. But yeah, to see Brad Dunn make a mistake like that, I would imagine he looked like he was going a little too fast through the S's, and with the pavement still a little slick, it is now lightly wet. And here's what's interesting, and maybe someone can confirm this with me, but in my years as a corner marshal, I noticed that there's a point on the racing surface where the track, well, yeah, it's drying, it's still one of the most slickest things you will see, and I argue sometimes a drying track is slicker and a little bit more treacherous than a wet racetrack.
And I think I'm going to, just from my own driver's experience, confer that with you here, Jeremy. You bring up the discussion about the tires overheating and the tires having a little bit too much load in them. Sports car tires, they are very finicky things in a way. They're volatile materials. Most of the time, you'll be fine. You know, you can run a race for so long on the same set of tires and not have them be worn down to the canvas. But there's very specific conditions in which they want to work. They're cold coming out of the pits, so that makes the out laps absolutely torturous. But when they get a little bit too hot, you're done for. You're absolutely done for. One of the other cars that I've covered, probably the car that I've covered the most here in my iRacing broadcasting career, are the wonderful Radical SR10s that we broadcast here on Race Spots. And those cars have the quintessential sports car tires. If they're slightly overheated, your car is probably going to do its best impression of the Grand Princess.
I like that one. Yeah, no, it definitely will. So we'll see how some of these drivers handle it. Like I said, I'm watching the track wetness. Right now it is lightly wet, so the rain tires, they're going to be pretty happy for the time being. And even worse, but here's the thing too, track temperature is now a degree Fahrenheit colder than the air temperature. Ambient temperature remains at 72 degrees, track temperature at 71 degrees, so if we're going by Celsius, they're about the same temperature as Les Carmichael. I'll tell you what, you got to hand it to him as Sherry Lee comes into the pits. We'll see if that's going to be the first of the drivers to gamble on the dry tires. But you got to hand it to Les Carmichael. Snyman's been all over the back of that 912 for the better part of the past couple of laps. Carmichael has done everything to make sure that that pink number 993 does not get around.
Yeah, playing the defensive masterclass here. Defensive driving in the rain. That feels like a slippery slope, as look at Snyman going for the dive. Where did he come from? I wasn't expecting that. I'm not sure if he was expecting to go for it. Certainly Les Carmichael did. He got taken off by surprise as Snyman diving it down the inside in the turn. A ballsy move to jump his way up in a seventh. It's worked out well as Les Carmichael gonna have to slip back in tow, get his bearing straight, and try and mount a charge as we get into the final 8.5 minutes of this race. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think he probably just went in the spoon corner and goes, "You guys silly? I think I'm still going to send it." And indeed, he made it work. But what a fantastic pass out of Snyman. I was actually expecting that a couple laps ago in one of the deeper braking zones.
As you can tell, that was close quarters, and certainly caught me by surprise based off the fact my voice shot up about 7 octaves. I may have to have a cup of tea before I go to bed here tonight. That one kind of hurt. We've still got some battles worth mentioning here. John Kaplan and Harpreet Batt. There's a battle for a spot inside the top 5. Now, to go back to the point that I was going to raise before we saw the dive from Snyman on Carmichael, defensive driving in the rain. That is a slippery slope in more ways than one.
Yeah, no, especially there into Spoon Curve and Degner. Here's the thing, just us talking about that, we're just going to talk about how treacherous it is, and indeed, Bath proves my point on how the Degner can really catch you out, especially in these conditions. So, I didn't mean for it to be a real-time example. I just wanted to say, hey, this could happen.
And as a step-by-step instruction, observe. So Heartbreak Bath kind of proving your point right as it was being made. That's I mean, not ideal, obviously. We don't wish ill will upon the drivers, but it does help our job ever so slightly. It makes it a lot easier for us to say, hey, look, this can happen right as it happens. It's that standing water, the apex puddles. If there's one thing that drivers racing in the rain despise more than anything, it is puddles right at the apex, especially all through the Degners. I mean, Degner 1 being more of an example of it than Degner 2, the quicker kind of one-lane turn. It doesn't even feel like a one-lane turn from my experience. It's probably my least favorite turn around this racetrack, to tell you the truth. It feels like it is half a lane wide. If you miss the apex even by a millimeter in the dry, you're going to end up whacking that curb on the outside and probably pulling off some sort of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 like skid maneuver on a railing off into the wall. So throw rain and an apex puddle in that, and you're kind of, dancing with the devil every single time you head your way through that turn.
But that's why I love that turn, because you got to be so precise, like you mentioned. And that's where races are won and lost, especially in the wet. Although, we may have had about as many offs there, this race that we did last week. We're not seeing as much of that this week, because I think these drivers are really taking their time and working their way through. But this battle between Messer and Drankowitz, still, you got to hand it to Messer. I mean, he's been stuck there in fourth place for most of the race, and he's had different adversaries to try and get around. He just can't seem to get around them. And I think he's one of the ones that's probably hoping that somebody goes off here, and well, nobody's going to go off here this time by. But either way, got to hand it to Vernon Messer right now. No positions gained, no positions lost, still stuck in fourth. So, you know what? Honestly, with as wet as this track has been today at points, I think that staying where you're at in and of itself is a win.
Yeah, if you can hold on to the position that you're running in and keep it on the racetrack, that will be an achievement in and of itself. But with a podium opportunity available for all three of these drivers, you're going to see the tensions start to rise, the battling start to get hot, doubly so as we get into the final few laps here of this race. 4 minutes left on the clock. Vernon Messer is all over the back of Chris Drankowitz as they head their way out of Spoon Curve onto the back straightaway. You can see that margin is minuscule, only just probably a handful of feet between those drivers as now we jump on board with Messer. You can see peeking his way through the spray, maybe going to peek wheel down the inside here sooner rather than later. Gutsy stuff running off on the inside curve. Going to try and get this move done here, as you also have to consider Brad Dunn farther up the road with a car that could potentially be wounded. He may end up falling into the crutches of these racers as well. As Vernon Messer definitely overshot that turn a teeny tiny bit, had to check up quite a lot, and now John Kaplan potentially going to look to get a move done on him too.
Yes and no. I mean, here's the thing. You've got Carney. Oh, that was a little strange, but nonetheless, everybody makes it through in one solid piece as Gallius kind of tiptoeing his way around after his early race woes, and more drivers on their way around. Messer gets ahead of Drankowitz, finally goes up that one spot to the bottom step of the podium. But back to what I was saying, yeah, I mean, Dunn is probably running with a wounded car. 16.9 last time out by Carney, 20.8 out of Dunn, 18.9 out of Messer and Drankowitz. So I have a feeling that if Dunn continues down this path, it might be a battle for that second and third step to the podium here in just a matter of time.
Yeah, Yeah, certainly looking at the prospect of that battle snowballing from where it is now to where it could find itself being a 4-5 car battle with some extracurricular chaos maybe breaking out around. That very highly would turn into a 5-car battle, but 4-car battle would still be quite fascinating as we get into the end of this race. Chris Zarankovic trying to hold off the challenge from John Kaplan. These two drivers kind of got the short end of the stick in that lap traffic encounter with Robert Gallais heading down the start-finish stretch into turn 1 and 2. He was painfully slow heading his way down the start-finish stretch. I'm not sure if there's some sort of hardware failure to do with that, because that did not look like a slowdown. That looked like just, plain slow. It looked like he was almost on the speed, like a pit lane speed limiter as he headed his way down in there. It was just so disproportionately off pace from the rest of the pack. As Justin Carney, I will say, I think is coming to take the white flag here right about now. Now, I will say, folks, there has been a little bit of confusion thus far here in this week with the varied changes in laps. Sometimes there's been premature white flags being called, both only a minute and a half left on the clock. The white flag will be out for Justin Carney to try and seal the deal here on this race, as you can see from our wonderful graphics here on RaceSpot TV. So I don't think the battle for the race lead is going to be intense with 12 seconds of margin. Not sure if the battle for P2 and P3 will be hot, maybe even not for P3. The fight for fourth, though, is going to be intense between Zarankovic and Kaplan. How much can Kaplan tackle this there, Jeremy, though? Because with the changing conditions and the track being dry, you do have to bring in the matter of those tires just being overclocked if you start to fight too hard.
Well, technically the track's still lightly wet, but looking at the lap times, Zarankovic is about a half second slower than Kaplan, and you're really seeing it big time through the S-curves. Now, I have a feeling if I'm Kaplan, I'm going to wait for my opportunity to start pouncing around the hairpin, get inside his head, and try around the spoon curve. That's probably your best opportunity to get into that fourth spot, as you see Barney waving the white flag for the show the drivers one lap to go. But you got to get inside the head of Zarankovic, and so far not able to do that. And Kaplan, you saw him look to the inside there, and he's getting a little bit too far away to make anything happen, but he is closing in ever so slightly through the hairpin. And Ron, I think that this is going to be a battle to watch here closely as Justin Carney making his way around the circuit for the final time.
Yeah, Justin Carney on track for a W. He's about to head his way into 130R for the last time. The driver of the 292 car probably didn't imagine he would find himself in this position come time for the end. Started all the way back in 6th, but has peeked his way through the smoke, the mist, and the chaos here in this race. With drivers falling out around him, Justin Carney is going to see it through, and here at Suzuka is going to be victory for Justin Carney. He grabs the W here at Suzuka. That was Robert Gallais slow there on the inside line. So that's going to be the victory for him in dominating fashion at the end of this race. Keeping our eye on that fight between Zarankovic and Kaplan. Kaplan not able to mount a charge as we got to the end. I thought maybe we'd see a dive off in a Casio. We did not, but we still have that run up to the line. Of photo fish potentially developing here between these drivers. Who's going to get the nose out at the end? I think Zarankovic just barely got it out over Kaplan.
Yeah, that was a fantastic run off the Casio Triangle for Zarankovic and Kaplan, making everybody work for it at the end. Birkenstock building his case to finish just right in the 12th spot, a couple spots off the top 10, so not a bad finish for the 670 as the Sportus. A minute 14 behind. That just goes to show you, how varied some of these drivers are when it comes to running in the wet. But I think this was a good learning lesson for a lot of them, because it taught them what to do, what not to do here in the rain. And I will admit, I think we had less incidents than we did last week. I know we sure as heck didn't have any DQs this week.
Yeah, those drivers kept it extremely clean out there on the circuit, and the man that kept it clean the most is your winner, Justin Carney. now the first driver here in the PCA Challenge class since Brad Dunn's back-to-back wins to start off the season at Mexico City and Phillip Island to win 2 straight. Got the job done at Alton Park, got it here at Suzuka, which is very interesting to think that he could have very well got 3 in a row because he grabbed the pole at Long Beach, but things just did not materialize for him in that rather intriguing race there. It was an intriguing one, though, at Suzuka for round number 6 of this season. As we see the final few drivers come across the stripe, we'll get those race results loaded up for you folks in just a couple of moments' time. In fact, there it is, Hugo, always quick on the gun with the graphics, and here are your race results. Justin Carney grabs the win. 16.9 seconds was the margin between himself and Brad Dunn when it's all said and done here. Pun unintended. Dunn, I think, is probably kicking himself after that mistake. It could have been the victory for him. It should have been the victory for him, but he's still got 3 thus far this season. I think he's feeling pleased as we head off into the final month of this season championship-wise. Vernon Messer will run at your podium in 3rd. A photo finish at the end between Chris Drankovic and John Kaplan. A little over a tenth of a second, the margin between those two, deciding the final spots inside of your top 5. Harpreet Bath will finish a little bit farther behind them in 6th, just in front of Leon Snyman, who got the nose out in that battle with himself and Les Carmichael. Jeffrey Block is in 9th, with Patrick McGuire completing your top 10. From there, it's Jonathan Susportas class in 11th, Joe Birkenstock in 12th, Andrew Hillman will be in 13th in the number 5 car, Dave Jones in the 313 will be behind him in 14th, Adam Holland will be classed in P15, Juan Fong in the second race here in the series will be in 16th place, Jack Stevenson is in 17th with Alex Lidback in 18th, Lisa Eskridge right in front of her husband running out your top 20. Just a few more drivers left to go through at the tail end of our results page. 21st is James Legault. We saw him with a big crash right towards the end. Jim Garamani, who we saw again involved in some battles throughout this race, unfortunately had that incident somewhat early. He ends up 1 lap down in 22nd. Andy McCune, who had some incidents later on once the rain started to fall down, ends up in 23rd.